Hello guys, and today we're going to do a Saints Row characters tier list. So I don't even know who I'm going to start with anyway. But yeah. So Carlos, even though he was short-lived, would I put him in S? It's because of his impact, I'll put him in S. Because even though he's a short-lived character, he's still one of the most memorable. Like, they have characters that was in multiple games, and they're not as memorable as a character like flipping Carlos. Like, he's a legend. Yeah. And he basically helps the boss get out of prison and stuff, and it just sucks how things go when he's trying to, bring down the Brotherhood, because he's not really the best and experienced person, but he tries his best, but it's just the way how it goes for him. Yeah, if you've played Saints Row 2. Yeah. Alright, who's next? Dane Vogel, B. I mean, there's not really much to him, to be honest. He's interesting when he's like trying to work with other gangs, but at the end of the day, he seems like a pushover, especially when what Mero does to him, and then what ends up happening with the main character, the boss. How just easily takes him out, even with everything that he had, he still went out like a bitch, begging for his life. Yeah. So yeah, B. Julius. Like, man, there's so much backstory to his character that you learn from Saints Row 4, but if you just counting like the first 2 games A, but some of the backstory you find out in like Saints Row 4, I would put him in S, because man, it would have been cool if you got like a flipping spin-off game where we get to see Benjamin and Julius back in the day working together, and just some of the characters that we've heard of. Like, they could have just added so much lore and probably put him like S, like high S, if not like possibly the best character, if he got like an awesome spin-off. They could also introduce Johnny Gat like as a, like when he first came into the Saints and stuff, just all that stuff. That would have been so cool. But just from the story that we have, where he's basically trying to, like, if you've watched Boondock Saints, they're basically trying to make the city better, but then he realizes that the Saints are basically making things worse, so he basically tries to kill the Saints, get them arrested. I mean, originally I don't think Julius was supposed to betray the Saints, kind of like with San Andreas, like Ryder. He wasn't supposed to betray Grove Street, but just because of some mocap issues with Julius, like, they just completely changed the story just because of that. Just because they couldn't really get the mocap guy for Julius, they basically made you kill him and betray the Saints. Like, man, like, wow. Just because of flipping mocap, they completely changed a character's story. Because imagine how things would have went. But since the franchise went downhill, I don't even know if it matters, to be honest. Hell, they probably would have killed him off anyway, when you know what happens in Saints Row 4. Unless he also made it out. But yeah, from just the premise they gave him anyway, he's an A character. Johnny Gat, he's the best of the franchise. S, he's the badass. He gets so many close calls, and it sucks when you think he actually dies for real. He actually gets kidnapped by Zinyak, which is just stupid, but it was still cool to see him again. He's just the best character, man. He's the icon of the franchise, and just the funniest character. If we're not focusing on the boss, like, he's basically the best character in the franchise. Because, man, the boss from Saints Row 2 was just so ruthless and just had dark humor. It was just, man, he was awesome. Like, if we were counting him as a character, like the boss who you play as and customize, I guess he would be number 1, but Johnny Gat is just icon of the franchise, and I can't imagine the franchise without him, which we end up having to live without him in a Saints Row game, which is just trash, so I'm actually happy he's not in it. But yeah. Alright, who else? Junichi, not really much about him. It's more like what he does that makes him memorable, more than Dane Vogel, with who he kills. But yeah, it's just someone that basically follows orders. Yeah, not really much to say about him. Cool design, but yeah. Cool boss fight, but yeah. Not much to say. Cyrus, B, kind of like, I don't know. Do I like him more than... I don't know, because his story, like, it starts off interesting where he's actually connected to like a character from Saints Row 2. Like, his daughter was in Saints Row 2, like in the enemy gang. and he basically wants revenge or something by taking out the guns in Steelport. But then that he just the rest of his story afterwards is just he becomes a terrorist, and his story just becomes lame. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, and then it's just his bitch. Yeah, Kia. She's not really much to her, to be honest. Nothing really worth talking about unless we're talking about the alternate ending where she basically she kidnaps like Shondia and stuff, but whatever, like whatever. She's nothing. June Vardwarmer, C character, no one interesting, just has like, you know, she just talks on the radio and stuff, and you can get her as a homer in Saints Row 2, but whatever. She's a character, not much to say about her. You just know her for like talking on the news and stuff, but yeah. Jessica, I guess she'd be above all these characters because she's responsible for like one of the biggest video game deaths of all time to me, then one of the saddest anyway. So yeah, that's why she's like above these characters, yeah, mostly. And just the way how her character ends too, like it's just oof, yes. I love it. And then Mewa, would I put him again over like Jessica? Because Jessica, it's just what she does, man. Like Mewa's badass, but it's just what Jessica does. Why, like she has the most impact of what she does to the Saints compared to Mewa, so yeah. But Mewa's like pretty cool, like his tattoos and everything, and what he does to Dane Vogel, lol. When he's trying to like, you know, make deals with him and it just goes one. But yeah, just and the little fight you have with him at the end, it's pretty cool. But yeah, and Jessica has the biggest impact from the gang, so yeah. D. I'm not saying anything about her. Lol. Don't know who this is, so D. Don't know who this is, so D. I think this is Mewa's friend, but he's just going all the way at the bottom. It's nothing interesting. D. Nothing to say about him. D. Nice reference, so C. Yeah, Body Piper. Yeah, not much to say about that. Just references a movie. Yeah. D. She's nothing. Philip Loren had potential, but like I put him above these characters. But since they failed his character, like they did something risky with what they did with Philip Loren, where he basically kills the biggest character in the franchise, but then he ends up dying like so early, and then we find out like basically Johnny got beat his ass, and basically he would have killed him if, you know, Zinyak didn't come and kidnap Johnny. But yeah. He's a disappointing villain. He had potential, like he looked so awesome in the trailer, but then when you actually play the game, he's just so disappointing, so yeah. He could have been a lot better. Angel is cool. Like he's cool, but like I'd say he's cooler than, like I'd put him somewhere here. But I still prefer Mewa over Angel though. He's cool, but I just don't think they did a lot with him. Like with his honor code and stuff, wanting to earn back his mask and stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool, but could have been more to his character. Josh is a C character. He's at the bottom. It's just like comic relief, but not even funny. Oleg, I guess I'll put him here. Like some of the new characters from Saints Row were good, but they needed a bit more good writing. But since everything was just goofy, starting to become goofy, like they just forgot about good writing. Like there's only some parts where there's good writing in Saints Row, but it's mostly Kenzie, I'll just put her like, because even though like she doesn't feel like a Saints Row character, she's still more interesting than these two, so we'll put her there. Yeah. Like man, even this guy, like a member of the Los Canales who ends up betraying him. Like man, I don't know where I'd put him. Where would I put him? I'd put him here. Yeah. Like there was interesting stuff about him, like him just trying to steal like the gun leader's girl and stuff, and just making deals behind the Los Canales' back with the Saints and stuff. Like he had some good lore. It's just that it sucks they didn't really bring back his character and anything, because we see like the girl that ends up stealing, but we don't really get to see him again. Yeah, because he was interesting. not really much to say about this guy, to be honest, because his character goes nowhere, and you don't get to bring down you know who. So yeah, veteran child. He's at least better than this character, so ends up kidnapping Shaun Day. Like, he has history with Shaun Day. But at the end of the day, he's a bitch, but he's a funny bitch. So yeah, we'll put him there. We'll put Pierce in A. He's a fun character. Even when the franchise goes downhill, he's still fun. So yeah, A. She's nothing to me. She's cool, but I don't know where to put her. I'll put her here. I mean, above, yeah. Because she's fun, is it Laura or something? Yeah, she's a fun character. She's like a stay-at-home mom, but does drug deals. Like, she's a funny character, but, you know, she doesn't really offer too much to the story, but I guess a little bit in Saints Row 2 with another connection character, which I'll see if it's on the list anyway. Yeah, I can see him. But yeah. Because that character, I guess, would have more importance. Even helps at the end of Saints Row 2, so yeah. Like, man, where would I put this character? Oh, he's obviously going to go in A. Dex, because I like the Saints Row 1 Dex, because it seems like he's your ally. Then they make him a villain in Saints Row 2, but you never get to, you know, if you know how the story goes, it's like the most disappointing thing in the whole franchise. And it could have been the main story for Saints Row 3, so yeah. But he had a lot of interesting stuff about him, and it just goes nowhere. Zinyak. I mean, it's weird to do this, but I'd put him above all these characters. It's just so weird. It's so weird, but his writing's so good. Like, if it was a different franchise or a different IP, like, man, I'd probably put him like flipping A. But since it's Saints Row, it's just but it's just his writing's pretty good though. Yeah, how he's just trying to break, you know, the leader of the Saints, bend him to his will and stuff, and just it's good writing, and you know, they kind of go a bit literal with it with Shakespeare, like him quoting Shakespeare a lot. Like, my god. But yeah, he's a good villain. It's just, even though he's not really a Saints Row villain, that's the biggest problem in Rising B. But because his writing's so good, like, that's why I'd put him like the top of B. Yeah, just a cameo. So I'd put him like here. It's just a cameo, really. Keith David. He was fun, but can I even count him properly as a character? So bottom B. Shaun Day, but I mean, if I counting like, you know, flipping Saints Row 2 Shaun Day, definitely S. But I still prefer Carlos over Shaun Day though. But she's a really useful character in her ways, if you know what I mean. But yeah, but if you're talking about Saints Row 3 Shaun Day, she's like flipping bottom B, man. Like, my god, like somewhere here, like Jesus. But if we're just counting Saints Row 2, then she's like up here, yeah. And I feel like Pierce deserves to be higher than this, so like, yeah, he'd be above Shaun Day. So let's change that. This guy's just a bitch, but he's a memorable bitch, so I'd put him here then. She's also memorable, but she's basically a hoe. I'd put her above Dane Vogel. He's a nobody, so I'll just put him here. Aisha, I guess she's important, so I'll put her A. Because of her importance to the story and how things end up with her character, that's why I'm putting her in A. Like, because she's basically Johnny's girlfriend, and yeah, like, the way how that ends up, yeah, adds a lot to the story. Lynn was a cool character. Like, probably put her like top A, even though Julius does, so nah. Oh, it's just hard. It's because of how Julius' story ends. Cause man, this is a hard one. I'm just gonna put her like top A for now, because she's a cool character. Would have been good to see more from her, because she was pretty cool. This guy's basically a nobody, so. But even with his little dialogue, even though you never got to actually meet him, like the chief in Saints Row 1, he's still better than this character, even this character. Oh my god, should I just put him flipping? I feel like just putting him like first place, even though you never get to meet him. Like, he literally just has like 1 or 2 dialogue scenes, like 2 or 3, but they still like have a bigger importance to the story of Saints Row 1 than most of these characters in their stories and stuff. Like, man, Chief Monroe, man. Because he basically kidnaps Julius, and you have to end up killing like someone that could replace him or something like that, like the mayor. Because he's trying to, I don't know, I can't fully remember his goal, but yeah. Just what you have to do to be able to get Julius back. It's more interesting than all these characters. And he has like a somewhat arc. This one just has the biggest potential to be in like flipping AS, but they just completely squandered it. Benjamin King, if we're just talking about flipping Saints Row 1, like, probably put him the best then. Yeah, like, that's easy, man. Like, he has the most memorable lines. I'm Benjamin motherfucking King. Like, my god. A legend. Now, I'll put Julius here because of, if we're just counting Saints Row 1, I'll just put him here and then there. Yeah, it feels right. Legal Lee, not really much of a character, but I don't know. It'd be weird to like put him this high, like somewhere here. But he ends up being somewhat useful. Well, does he though? No, I'll put him here. Because he's trying to help get Johnny out of jail, but it's really the boss who ends up breaking him out. So, and he ends up helping you get some money when you do insurance fraud in the Saints Row 1. But yeah, we'll just put him there. Like, he's very memorable because of his interactions with Benjamin King, but we'll just put him at the bottom for now. Basically a porn star playing as a character, not really much to say. She ends up helping the Saints in Saints of the Third, because she basically, like, I guess Killbane kills her sister, so she wants to kill the Saints. I'm just putting like, I guess above these two characters. That's the best I can do. Because I enjoy Josh more than her. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, Zemus, oof. Probably put him like I think like, is Zemus better than her though? Like, it's his lines though. It does feel like a Saints Row character though. So I'm putting him like here. Yeah. Tobias, we'll get to him. She's nothing. Basically another porn star, but even worse. Like, she's got no story. Her acting's even worse, like, so probably put her here. Even Lewis, like, she's probably better than these characters. So, but where would I actually put her? Probably past Legal Lee. That's the best I can do. Yeah. Donnie, he's just a bitch, but he ends up joining two rival gangs that you go up against. And both guns end up killing someone important to you, so, and he's always like, gets mixed up in between it, and it's always interesting. It sucks that it didn't really bring him back in like another game, but yeah. I'd probably put him like the top of C, because he's always important to the gun you're trying to take down, so yeah. I'll put him like top of C. This guy, not really much to say about him, but I'll just put him above, yeah. Josh, he's basically just like related to Tobias, and he helps you get some money, doing some drug dealing, yeah. Okay, Osha, she's interesting, but if it was like a different franchise, like a Stella franchise or something, she'd be interesting. But is she really above all these characters? I don't know if I'm going too far. I'll just put her like bottom B for now. This is nothing. Genki. Oh my god, he's not even a character, but I'd put him above. It's just because he's not a character, but he's the most iconic from Saints Row the Third when it comes to like the goofy stuff. But he's still not a character, so D. He's top of D at least. Troy, he probably would have had the best story in the whole franchise. It's basically because his story kind of goes similar to Fast and Furious, where, you know, Brian O'Connor, like, he starts off as a cop. He was supposed to bring down Dominic Santiago, but he ends up becoming friends with him, and he ends up basically going against his police force to protect his new family. Yeah, family. Which Dominic Santiago would say. Did I say Santiago? Jesus. Toretto. Oh my god, I'm getting mixed up with characters now. From Gears of War and flipping Fast and Furious. But yeah, I'd put him above Shonda, Troy, but it's just because they don't really do anything with him that much in Saints Row 2. Even though he basically seems like he still helps you in Saints Row 3, but you never get to see him again. He basically had the best story, but it just didn't feel satisfying. It wasn't fully finished and polished well, and just because of how the franchise goes anyway. Because it seems like he basically was trying to take down the Saints, but he ends up trying to save as many of the Saints as he can. Like, he ends up basically flipping the best character, Johnny Gat, from death row in Saints Row 2, and he basically becomes chief of police after everything that happens, since I guess he takes most of the credit of taking down the Saints, even though he was actually trying to help the Saints, because it was going to go down anyway, but he tried to save as many as he could. Yeah. And even as the chief of police, he can still help you out as a homie, but it would have been better if he was actually more part of the story. Like, maybe he helps you take down Dane Vogel. It just don't really go as far as I want it to go, because it seems like he hated Dane Vogel as well. Like, he was kind of interrupting in his police duties. So it would have made more sense if he actually had a big part in taking down Dane Vogel with his connections. Like, it might have risked his career, but it would have been pretty cool. Like, him trying to help you take down Dane Vogel, it would have been way more interesting, but they just don't do enough with Troy in Saints Row 2, man. Like, man, yeah, we get to see him sometimes in cutscenes arguing with Dane Vogel, but they just don't do enough of it. Like, it sucks. He should have been more in the story. But yeah. Alright, who's left? Not much of a character, but I guess better than Donnie. Because he basically starts off as like the person you meet from the worst activity in Saints Row 1, Hitman, because of how that works. It's just terrible. Like, he has one of the best cutscenes, side mission cutscenes, activity cutscenes, should I say, where he basically shoots his own translator in the flipping leg, and then you get to see him come back in the main story in Saints Row 2 to take down the Warning for the last few missions. He's an interesting character because he has connections with the boss who you're trying to take down. But yeah. Also, instantly the worst character, like, cringe. Not a Saints Row character, but I guess I'll put it above, yeah. Sid, bottom C, because he has funny dialogue, he's useful, so yeah, bottom C. He's nothing, so, but still put him above, you know, Matt. I don't like Matt. Cool character, like, I'd say he's better than Mero because of how cool he was. He was basically like a henchman to the Lost Colonists, and he was pretty cool. Victor, yeah, like, he was a bitch to kill. Killbane, man, he had potential, but to be honest, like, he probably had the best gun in the game, but. And in one of his alternate endings of Saints Row the Third, my god, it had the best dialogue that also foreshadowed the future of the franchise, how it was gonna go out with a whimper. Like, my god, like, he was putting his A game in some moments, but then there was just like some really dumb moments where he's trying to defend his honor instead of like trying to kill the Saints. It's just like he decides to have a flipping wrestling match with the Saints instead of just trying to wipe them out. Like, stupid, but he seems like he had the best writing in the whole game, but it just went nowhere in the end. Yeah, if you choose the canon ending, because the alternate ending, the darker ending where Shawnee dies and stuff, like, he has basically the best dialogue scene in the whole game. Basically saying the Saints are just a joke and they're gonna go out of a whimper, which they basically do with the reboot. Yeah. But yeah. Angelo, like, pretty memorable. Probably say he's better than yeah, I'll put him here. Like, he was a pretty cool boss. Yeah, seen him butt heads with his brother and stuff, and then wants to get revenge for his brother when he dies, and just how everything goes, and just tries to retreat and just leaves his girlfriend at the end just to be able to escape, but then, you know, it doesn't really work out for him. But just his whole situation that he's going through while all this is happening, like, seeing everything break down, because that's the coolest thing about, you know, the Saints Row franchise, when you're seeing the flipping gang just start to crumble the more you take down stuff, and they end up like just breaking apart, and just how everything just all escalates. And when it comes to Angelo, he has the best reaction to that, just seeing him lose everything like that, and how he tries to react to it. It's just it's entertaining every time I replay the Lost Canales missions. Yeah, Victor. Not really much to say about him, really. Yeah, there's not really much to him. He feels like an actual someone who would be in Saints Row, but there's not much to him. But I'd put him above where would I put him? I'll put him somewhere here. Yeah. Like this guy, basically the mayor in Saints Row 1. I guess I'll just put him above her, but he just has that memorable final scene in Saints Row, and that's basically it. Not really much else I can say about him. Yeah, it's more like the reaction to the scene. Like I have more memorability to that than some of his last lines. But yeah, because he was planning to basically kill the new boss of the Saints, which is basically your character, since Julius went missing. Yeah. So he thought like, hey, why don't I just kill the boss right here? But then someone also had a plan to kill both the boss and the mayor at the same time, which we found out was Julius. Yeah. But he's a character. If only he was more in the story before he died, but he wasn't. So Mr. Sunshine, oh my god, probably top of C. Yeah. Man, I feel like he deserves to be in, because he's better than flipping Junichi, man. So yeah, but I'll put him here. Like, he's a pretty terrifying guy. Like, if I was having to fight against him, man, I'd be terrified. He even uses voodoo against you, if that even counts as canon. I don't even know what to say about that, but I'm actually fine with that. Zombies in the story is a bit much, but voodoo, I'll allow it. I think even Vice City allowed it, with Tommy getting controlled by some voodoo woman, but yeah. I'll just allow that, and he was just pretty terrifying anyway. Like, thrown up against him, Jesus. Because he was the best thing about the gun, my least favourite gun in Saints Row 2, the zombie. Yeah. Is this even a character? So I'm just gonna put him like down here. Like, does that even count as a character? I'm trying to put him above Sinjai, because he's basically nothing. He's just like Zinyak's bitch. Tobias, probably definitely an A. I'll put him, can I put him above Dex? Yeah, I'll do it. Because he's a fun character. He has like anger issues, like he has like a short temper. One moment he would be so calm, then he'll just flip out, and he ends up being really useful in Saints Row 2, thanks to Laura. Yeah. He even ends up helping you escape after you take down Dane Vogel in Saints Row 2 as well. Yeah, he's really useful, like helping you take down weed farms from the zombie. Like, he's a really useful character in Saints Row 2, more useful than flipping Troy, which is just insane. But yeah. So Sharp, he's more like just memorable for killing, you know, Lin. So yeah, where would I put him? And he's, you know, wait, where would I put him? Like, he's basically that that guy's dad, like Joseph's dad. Basically the one who basically seems like he's the main, and you end up, you know, killing him at the end when he tries to win you over with a motherfucking truck. I'll put him here. He's like the best place to put him. Because even though he's very posh and professional, he's still willing to do the dirty work, like how an actual gang leader would. Well, because sometimes they let their soldiers do the work, but sometimes they just have to step in and do it themselves, because sometimes their lackeys might not be doing the work properly, so he'll just do it himself, and that's what I've got respect about him. Yeah, it sucks he kills Lin, but he at least steps up to do the dirty work. Yeah. Akuji or whatever his name was. Yeah, it would have been cool if they actually brought him back. Like, I'm putting him here, easy. Probably the best gang leader when it comes to the original gangs. Like, he just, man, it brought like another level to the franchise of this, you know, basically a Yakuza gang. It would have been cool if we actually got to see him come back. Like, he basically has a line at the end of his story, his warning story, where like he says like, if I escape, the world won't be big enough for you to hide in, and then in the next game they become celebrities. I was thinking like, man, we're gonna see Akuji again, but then it never happens. Also, his connection with One was pretty cool. Yeah, a character who was just like from an activity that we possibly hated in Saints Row 1, which I hated anyway because of how badly it was made, and they made it way better in Saints Row 2. But yeah, just the most memorable. Well, can I say that when it comes to the actual being, you know, proper gang leader, yeah, he's the best. But when it comes to like the likability, you know, Benjamin King, because he ends up betraying his own gang to help out the Saints, so that's why. And just his dialogue as well by the late, you know, Clark Duncan, rest in peace. Yeah, he just did such a good job. But as a proper gang leader, like, I'd say Akuji's the best. Yeah. So this guy, he's just basically ruthless to both his people and any other gang when he has to, but he's just the least memorable character, so I'll put him in B. As a gang leader, he's the least memorable. Yeah. I guess flipping Lucky is more memorable than him. And then Joseph himself, where would I put him? He's not. I'd put him here, man. I'd put her above this guy. Yeah. And then there's the boss himself. I'll just put him like here. Yeah. But if we're talking about the Saints Row 2 version, yeah, definitely deserves to be here. But Saints Row 3, like, he'd be like, oh god. And even though he still can be fun, he's just not the boss that I would picture is the best boss from the Saints Row games. Like, the Saints Row 2 version was like so ruthless, but then had like dark humor to still make him somewhat likable. Because man, when someone would mess with the boss, like, he would brutally murder them, like, Jesus Christ, or they basically killed someone he cares about, or like when Jonah gets flipping stabbed by Junichi, like, he takes it so personal, man. He even takes it out on his flipping crew members, like Pierce, like, my god. Like, he's gonna kill him. But yeah, like, you really couldn't mess with the Saints Row 2 boss. Like, he was ruthless, and he just becomes a lot more laid back in all the other games, Saints Row 3 and 4, and he's not really the boss. He doesn't really talk much in Saints Row 1. You only get like 3-4 voice lines in Saints Row 1, because he was more like a mute in the first game. But it kind of made him a bit more. You think about it, that could make him a bit more terrifying. Like, he doesn't talk. He just straight up just kills all these bosses. Like, that would make him more scary, to be honest. But yeah, just the way how he's in Saints Row 2, man. Just that's peak boss. And then you've got the reboot version, which is just disgusting. Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that version. Nah, that's even worse than the Saints Row 3 and 4 version, because at least they're funny. But yeah. But I'm basically done with my tier list. I don't know if I've missed out any characters, if there was any more to even include. But I guess from what they showed, this is what I'd pick, I guess. So top of D is Genkai. Top of C, Mr. One. Top of B, Zinyak, which is crazy. But I feel like I should actually put Junichi as the best, because as an actual feeling like a gang boss, yeah, he's definitely the best. And just when it comes to like I don't even like, basically, yeah, Benjamin King is an A to me. But you know, like I said, Junichi's better at being a gang boss. But it's just his memorability, like, man. And then when it comes to the icons, these are the icons basically of the franchise to me. Like, Johnny Gat's just number one. He's always going to be Saints Row. He is Saints Row, so yeah. And that's basically my tier list of the Saints Row franchise. Let me know what you would choose differently. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, I'll see you in the next one. Please check me if a like, and peace.